Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So we got the fuel system in, you're gonna see it in just a second. And also the first start is going to happen or happen, maybe not happen, I don't know. You're gonna have to wait till the end to see it. And I hope you guys watch it all the way through. It'd be really awesome. It's a massive milestone for me in this build, and just to know that I've took this thing down to every little piece that it could possibly be broken down to and put it back together. So hey, stay tuned, it's gonna be pretty awesome. Yeah, it's gonna work. All right guys, check it out, it's here. Hopefully we can throw this thing on here, get it cranked. Yes! There's the goods. All right, so that's the whole kit. So the kit comes with obviously the pump, filters, mounting brackets, electronics, it's wired up, some fuel line. Might use that fuel line, might use some steel braided line. Not sure yet. I know one of these at least will be a stainless steel line. And then, yeah, it's gonna be fun. Also, the FASS system is assembled in the US of A. Yes. All right, the directions say first thing to do is hook up the add a fuse line right here. It already comes with the butt connector on here. You just had to strip this out. I don't know the length yet, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put it in there. If I need to shorten it later, I always can. Step 2 is going to connect these butt connectors. Red to positive, green is to negative. Next is to go ahead and add some 12 volts to it. It says you can hook it straight up to the battery, but I'm going to hook it up to both sides of this block. And again, this is just temporary till I get these things ran in the final spot. Next, we got some spacers right here. And let's go ahead and mount up this bracket right here. Now over here is where the fun begins. I may need to order 245 AN fittings for the transmission cooler here. I'm not sure yet. Let's go ahead and move this out of the way. That's going to be going to the pump. Let me just see if it even has. There might be enough room for it in there. It's going down underneath the lines. I kind of wish I didn't put fluid in the lines already. I'm going to go ahead and put these filters on here so there's no, I don't want it to debris and stuff getting in here. And they have a picture on here which one goes where. It's pretty cool. Okay, what we're going to do real quick is go ahead and mark the holes.
It's right here.
Yep, big circle. And on the other side too. Thanks. So obviously guys, on the pump itself here, this part right here, the mounting point where it tops the frame, is way too far. It shoots past the frame, which that can't happen because the body has to go on and it'll hit it. So I'm probably gonna have to end up cutting this off, shrinking some out of it, and then welding that back on, really just to keep an end on it. I guess it really doesn't matter. I could just cut it off because it's gonna be bolted here. I'm gonna try also to get a bolt that's 7.5 inches long and drill 2 holes on the top and the bottom of the frame and run that bolt all the way down through and tighten it down with the nut on the bottom side of the frame. That way it's truly secure. On that, I had her mark the center of the frame itself, and I'm just gonna measure over from the transmission cross member and go ahead and get that distance, mark the bottom of the frame, and drill 2 big holes. So I'm gonna have to go to Lowe's, so this is gonna have to be on hold for just a bit. I just gotta get a couple things. I think also I might get maybe some 1/2 inch spacers for this, because it's only about 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch from the transmission. It could fit, but I know if it flexes and all that, the transmission, I don't want it to hit this. So I might as well see if they got some more spacers while I'm there. And I'm gonna need 3 smaller bolts that hold this onto the pump itself. So I'm gonna take all that stuff, go to Lowe's, I'll be back. Well, it's the next morning here, and time to get the drilling. I got back way too late last night, had football practice too, so let's get to drilling. Let's go. Well, guys, I was wondering, I was like, what's behind this? That's kind of nuts. So how much water is in the frame? At least it's not rust covered coming out. Okay, this is a lot. I need some towels or a bucket. Hang on. Dude, there's no sign of it slowing down. I had no idea. Still waiting. This is unreal. Unreal. We're at a couple inches. We're finally stopping here. Dude, there's 4 inches of water in there. That's crazy to not know how much went on the floor. So who would have thought that the frame is submerged in water? I had no idea, guys. Might want to do that to your own rides. So guys, that worked perfect. Other than these 90s, they are not gonna work. I have already ordered some 45s that come off of that. Yeah, look how pinched this is right here. So I really wish I wouldn't have filled up the lines. But I'm gonna go ahead and probably unhook them because I don't want this bend to sit there and mess up my hose because I still will use this part of it. I'm just getting new fittings right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and unhook these and fluid's gonna go everywhere. But this looks great. Check it out. Plenty of room between the transmission and also back here on the filters. They have plenty of room down there. It's kind of hard to see. But this fitting right here, this is to the engine. Return. Actually, well, I'll figure that out in a second. But I'm gonna go ahead and take these lines off. And for those of you guys that are wondering, this is a 8-inch bolt right here. 1/2 inch threads. And yep, 8 inches fits absolutely perfect. I bought 7s and 8s. They did not have 7.5s, which I'm glad it didn't. 8 actually, to take into account how thick this is, the actual mount, and then the washers, and then the nut. Yeah, that's perfect. 8 works. All right, next I'm gonna do right here from the engine. It goes to port E is an echo right here on top. So luckily I still have one of these 45 AN fittings, which will point up right here. I've already marked a piece of tape. Let me just remeasure here. Give me a little slack because I want to keep it off this. And if I have to move it somewhere, I can. Okay, so all the fuel lines ran. I went ahead and wrapped them with all this heat shielding right here. Just a little extra protection there for the lines. So those are ran. This was the blue ones. And yeah, everything is in place and nothing's, I'm not going to go ahead and mount all these lines up yet until I get my transmission 45s in right here. Now let's see if it's going to perform as well as it looks, but I'm waiting right here. So I eventually had this thing sitting around, and this is great for the mouse sensor, but this piece right here, I've got a elbow coming in today, I hope, because I am beyond anxious to get this thing cranked, running. I want to see it. All this hard work, I want to see it pay off. To test the system, I went ahead and just put that, you know, that fused piece that's supposed to be the fuse jumper when you have the stock Duramax. I just went ahead and put it in the ignition. That way, just temporary, so that will be my, you know, give it the switch to turn it on. So I'm going to go ahead and hook everything up and see if we can get some fuel up to the lines at least, because I need to check for leaks. I'm going to turn on the key switch here and hear the pump. You hear the pump? It's definitely running. Push some fuel up in there. All right, let me go check it out, see if we got any flow. So guys, I can hear the fuel now coming in. I got the bleeder valve out here. I'm gonna pump it and maybe I can see some diesel come out right there. Let me go flip the switch. I'm finally starting. I heard the fuel finally get into the pump. Woo! There's diesel. So guys, I don't see any leaks in here whatsoever with the lines, but I'm sure it's just made it to the CP3. By the way, since I put a new key switch in there because I do believe that key switch that I had, something was wrong with it. It was from the old Humvee, and I don't know, I had like 5 key switches in this old box, and I remember it rotated inside, and I think the first click over was the ignition, and it should have been the ACC, or ACC is all the way back and then off, and then that one was a 4. No, that one was a 3. This one's also a 3. But anyways, the other key switch was messed up on the insides. So I went ahead and got this cooler hooked up to the power steering. I'm going to do away with this, the stock Humvee one, just because I'm not going to do a fuel filter or an oil filter relocation kit where the new cooler comes into play. The stock cooler, oil cooler is in there, and I'm just going to run it like that. Ha! Don't mind my makeshift pipe here. It is closed off. There's some plumbing stuff here. There's some, this reducer. Hey, it's plugged in and is sealed for now. This will not be staying, but I can't help myself. I want to crank it so bad. So, do you think this thing will start or what?
Absolutely.
Really? Mm-hmm. You don't sound too, what do you call it? Confident?
Yeah.
No?
No.
Okay.
It's gonna start.
All right. I hope the battery still has enough juice. Let's give it a whirl. Wait, the start light is on. I'm gonna let the fuel pump go ahead and make sure this. No! My battery! Round 2. But this battery, I don't know if it's the greatest either. I've got to get some power. Gonna try to jump it. Next morning here, last night, just cranking and cranking and cranking and cranking, and I don't think that it can, I don't know. I'm trying to go back through stuff. I'm like, it's not cranking. And I do know that this thing has to be primed properly, and just fuel has to get everywhere in it. So let me just go back. I'm just gonna keep cranking it. I've had the fuel pump on for, I don't know. I had actually run for like a minute and a half just a second ago, just to make sure to get all up there. Cranked it some more. It wasn't cranking, but I feel like it's there. Let me just see if it's there. If not, we have a wiring issue. Let's go. Holy crap, guys. Oh, man. Did it just run? I'm in shock. I got it running again. Woo! Oh my gosh, it's amazing. I want to check the transmission. I gotta top everything off. I checked the oil and it's a little low because, I mean, the turbo it didn't have anything in it hardly left. And I'm sure some of the lines, it just shrunk it down some. So I'm gonna add oil, transmission oil, and go from there. Yeah. This is beyond me. Going from every single piece was taken apart on that engine, and everything. I'm pretty impressed with myself, to say the least. But I don't have a CTS module yet, so I can't tell any of the rates like on the injectors and stuff like that. So I really need to I don't have that ordered yet. I need to buy one of those. They're expensive, like, you know, $400 or $500, but it's going to be able to give me all the specs on everything. I mean, the engine sounds amazing. It sounds just as it should. So we'll see from there. I'm going to crank it up again, try to get the transmission to the cold full line now, because it sucked all that transmission fluid up. So let's try to top everything off. Just looking for leaks. I don't see anything on the fuel. No smoke. I don't hear any exhaust leaks. I don't see any fuel dripping out of the injectors. I didn't see any down in there. Doing a tiny bit of gas here. So you missed the first start. Unbelievable. Do the honors. Let it just sit there for a second and then crank. I can't believe it.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Ha! Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you're excited as I am about this. This was massive, massive, massive milestone in this build, and I'm so excited. I'm so happy it got to this point. So we're gonna see where we go from here. There's tons more work to do on this Humvee, but man, this right here was what I have been waiting for such a long time. So hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.